Hello video editors, and welcome back to editing in Final Cut Pro. This is video number 2 in the series, and today we're going to be talking about the application, the screen layout, where things are, what they do. Let's get on with it. Okay, I have Final Cut Pro loaded up here, ready to look at. As you open it for the very first time, you will notice that there are basically 4 different parts of the screen that you need to work with. On the top left right here we have the browser, and the center top we have the viewer. On the right hand side where it says nothing to inspect we have the inspector, and down at the very bottom going the whole way across is our project window. Let's start with the browser. The browser contains 3 different things. If we look, this little icon in the top left right there is clicked, showing us our library. We have only one library open up now. Next video we'll get into library and their organization. So you can see that is what is there. If I click on the next button, it shows me the different applications that I can pull media from, like Photos or Logic or GarageBand. They all work together, and I can pull media directly from those into Final Cut Pro to edit, which is pretty handy. And then the third icon right here is generators and titles. Final Cut Pro has a whole series of things that you can generate, images, various things. We won't get into what they are right now. And you can also generate titles. It has standard stock titles that you can customize and create on your own, which is pretty handy. So that's what the 3 things that the browser contains: your libraries, your applications, and your generators. Moving over here to the second one over, the viewer. The viewer window contains information about media that you have selected. For example, if I select this video clip in my browser, the viewer then shows me contents of that. It also works with this one down below here, which is our project window. Project is where you organize your clips, all of your media into basically the video. So you take them from the browser and organize them down in there. If I have something selected in my project window, it also will then show the details in the viewer. So the viewer works with the browser and it works with the project. Over on the right hand side is my inspector. If I want additional greater details on whatever I have selected, again, in my project window or in my browser, it will show me greater detail right there. I can look at information on video parameters. I can look at information on audio or various other things in my inspector. I can get a lot more detail. So that is basically what these 4 windows do: your browser, your viewer, your inspector, and your project window. Let's look at just a little bit more at what each one of these other windows do. Starting with the browser, I mentioned these 3 buttons where I can look at the 3 different things. Over here on the other side of this, I can show and hide different videos. If I have a whole lot of clips, I can have different settings on them, clips that are rejected or favorites or whatever, and have it show me just the ones that I want. This button right here will toggle between 2 modes of what I see here. Right now I have it set for list mode. If I click on that mode, it then puts it in film strip mode. So I can basically see the entire clip laid out right here. If you don't know what a film strip is, ask your grandparents. They can tell you they had them in school. So this button basically toggles between that mode and that mode of what you want to see. Doesn't matter which one you use, personal preference, totally up to you. This next button right here that looks like a bit of old-fashioned film, if I click that down, that is how I can control some of the details of what I see in here. For example, if I uncheck waveforms, you'll notice the waveforms right at the bottom of that go away and all I see is the video. So that's a toggle to turn that back on and off. Continuous playback means if I'm playing this clip right here and it reaches the end of it, it will automatically jump to the next one down and continue playing in there. Sometimes you might or might not want that. If I have it set for film strip mode and I drop this down, you can see I can zoom in. That is, I can increase the size of this window here, which zooms me in and out, or I can do this, which shows me how much data will be inside each square. I can get really small, so where the entire thing is right here, or if I start to stretch that out, you'll notice it starts to take up more space on the screen. And that's everything we have in the browser. Moving on to here in our viewer, whatever I have selected here, the title of it is right here in my viewer, and this shows me basic information about whatever the item is I have selected. Right here, this percentage is how much of the screen I will take up. When it is set to fit, it will take the entire clip I have selected and make it fit in there, no matter how big the dimensions or how small they are. I can zoom in. If I go to 400%, I'm zoomed way in. Now I can only see a little part of the screen. Say I want to move around and see different aspects of it. If you look, this square right here is representative of the entire frame. And that red dot in the middle of it tells me where I am on that frame. So I can click and drag this all around to anywhere I want on that screen. Sometimes you want to get and see closer detail, sometimes you don't. Most of the time you'll just have that set to fit like that so you can see it all. And then view, we're not going to do with anything with that. That's all sorts of more advanced things that are beyond the scope of this video. So we're just going to close that right back up. Across the bottom of our viewer, right here, of course, is your time code. As I scroll through this, you'll notice the time code changes. So that's the time code of whatever's selected. It also will do the same thing. If I have a project, it'll show me the time code where I am in that project. These three buttons here, one is for editing the dimensions of the image that's on the screen. The next one over right here, this thing that looks like a magic wand, is so I can adjust color of what is selected on the screen. And this one I cannot select right now because it only applies to things in the project window. I can speed up or slow down clips that are in there. So that's what those three things will do to that. Again, this is the time code. Right here is a little audio meter. If I have this playing, you'll notice the audio meter bouncing up and down. I also have it over on the right-hand screen. You might or might not have that showing. To hide or show it, click on that audio meter. It shows and it hides. I generally have it going there so I can see more detail because I like to see more detail in my audio. And then this button will take it full screen. So that's the whole video full screen. A little easier if I have this one so we can see that one. So if I take it full screen, we can see so I can watch back that video full screen. That is everything in the viewer. Now let's go on to the inspector. Not really much you need to know about here. We'll get into this at a later date. One thing you should know about this, you can have a lot of information inside this inspector window, sometimes so much that you can't see it all. If I were to double tap on the title of the inspector, you see it goes the whole way down and it stretches the whole way down so I can see all the information that is in all those fields. And I can then, of course, adjust where things are. Double tap on that again, it takes it only to half the screen. And like I said, we will get to what all these things do in future editing videos. That brings us up to the project window. You'll notice buttons over here on the left-hand side of the project window, some information right here, and some information over here. Let me open up a project I had done. This is what a project looks like, and you can see I have lots and lots of little clips going all the way across there. What the project window will include will be all of these. If I click on index, there we go. It gives me all of the clips, information on every clip that's loaded here in the project. These four buttons right here are used for editing these media clips into the project. When we get into editing video, we will go over what those are. That's these four. This one right here, if I drop that down, my mouse pointer right now is set to select, so anything that I click on, it will select it. If I drop that down, there are other things I can have it do, and as like I said before, as we get into needing them, we will show you what they do. This shows me the title of what my project is, and this is how long it is. These buttons over here have to do with navigating this window. You'll notice as I move back and forth, the video follows me. I'm not clicking, I'm just moving my mouse back and forth. It does audio, hear the audio going, and video. Sometimes you might not want the audio to scrub, that's called scrubbing. If I click that one right here, the second one over, that turns my audio scrubbing off, so only see video. Turn that back on. The next one here on the first one, if I turn that off, it turns off scrubbing altogether. So this turns your scrubbing on and off. This headphones will solo up a clip. So if I have a clip right here selected and I click the headphones, I will only hear that one. Then there's this button right here, which looks like a little film strip. This controls my view of this one. For example, these buttons, you'll notice all I see is audio waveforms. If I click on the next one over, I see equal space, video and audio, and so on and so forth until I get there where all I see is video. And then this last one takes it to where it's very small, so all I see is an arrow one. If you've got a lot of video clips stacked up and down below there, that might be helpful for you to see. This controls how big this is in the screen. If I drag it one way or the other, you can see that changes. And then this one here will zoom in. So watch a clip that I have zoomed on, it will get smaller or larger. So that's zooming in and out. And then you can have it show certain things which we're not going to get into in here. So you notice that there are two more buttons over here on the right hand side, then we'll be done. These show and hide your effects browser. So I can apply effects to any clip. There are video and audio effects to change them in various ways. And then also this one right here will show and hide my transitions. Generally, when I'm doing transitions, all you're going to do is a dissolve or a cut. But if you want to play and have all sorts of different kind of ones, you can have those in there. So these last two buttons will show and hide those windows. And look, I think that's about everything that we needed to get through. I had to really fly through these because we got to get these videos 5 to 10 minutes. Hope that was helpful. It should help you get moving forward with editing. If you need to, of course, you can refer back to this if you want any brush up on any tips. And as always, if you wouldn't mind, click on the like button. That helps me out. You can click subscribe to see all of my videos, or you can click follow, which will notify you anytime I'm live or anytime I update something. If you don't feel like doing that, that is no problem. I hope these videos are helpful and I hope you enjoy them. That's all for now. Now let's move on to video number 3, talking about libraries and setting all that up. Very important stuff. Make sure you do video 3. Thanks for watching. I'm out.